Hi, welcome to my tutorial series Essential Blues Guitar. My name is Markus Fleischer. In this video I'm going to show you a simple but great sounding Chicago box shuffle pattern. I'm going to break down this pattern for you slowly, note for note. And you can read the tablature on the screen while I'm explaining this pattern. We're going to take a close look at the left hand because there are some nice dampening techniques involved. Also, we're going to have a close look at the right hand because the right hand in this case acts like a drummer. The shuffle feel is really essential for this kind of music. So if you're used to playing straight eighth notes, this is quite an interesting lesson. After you've learned to play this pattern in one way, I will show you another way to play this pattern so you have a little bit more flexibility on the fingerboard. Let's start. I will show you this pattern by playing one chorus, 12 bars of blues and A for you. So let me break down the pattern for you slowly. We're in a blues in A. First chord is A7. And we start with our index finger, first finger, on the low E string in the 5th fret. Play that note 2 times, the note A. And then we play with our pinky, 4th finger, we play the D string in the 7th fret 2 times. And then with our index finger, we play in the 5th fret, also D string. And then again with the pinky, 7th fret, A string. That's the whole pattern. Let me do that slowly again. So that's a 1-bar pattern. And in the blues we have A7 for 4 bars. So we have to play this 4 times. 1 time. 2 times. 3 times. Now it goes to D7. So what we do is we slide up to the 10th fret and play this whole thing in D. 2 times, because in the blues it's 2 times D7. Then we go back to the A and we play it 2 times again. Again. Next chord is E7. So we go up the neck to the 12th fret and play our pattern there. Then D7. So back to the 10th fret. And then back to our A chord, 5th fret. So now we are on the last bar in this blues in A, and very often you will hear a turnaround at the end of the blues. A turnaround is anything, a chord, a melody, a chord progression that will give the feeling that the whole blues chorus is starting over again. We are just playing an E7 chord. It's a nice E7 chord with the 3rd finger 7th fret. The second finger is 6th fret D string. Then the 4th finger is on the 7th fret G string. And the first finger is on the B string 5th fret. The low E string we can play on the 1. And then we play this E7. You can play this, you can let the high E string ring through, or you can dampen it. It's fine both ways. So let me do that again. So let's look closer to the left hand, because I'm dampening a lot with my left hand. Let's look at the first note. I'm using my pinky to dampen the rest of the strings, and also a little bit the index finger. It's resting nicely on the rest of the strings, so the rest of the strings are dampened. When I hit more than the low E string, I still only hear this one note. Same is with the A on the D string with the pinky. I have to use other fingers to dampen the rest of the strings. You will notice that the rest of my fingers are resting on the strings and the pinky is pressing down the D string. So I can still hit all the strings and still you only hear this note A. Same with the G, also on the D string. I'm dampening the G string and B string, E string with my index finger, and the low E string I'm dampening with my middle finger and ring finger, and the open A I dampen with the tip of my index finger. So then again the pinky on the A string, the note E, same thing as before. The rest of my fingers are resting on the strings, so they are dampened. So I can hit all the strings and you still only hear the note E. How can you practice that? Well, you just take one note at a time. Let's say you want to play this low A. First of all, let your fingers rest on the strings and hit them all and make sure they are all dampened. That no note is ringing, you only get a nice chuck. And then try to press down the A with your index finger, 5th fret E string, and the rest of the fingers are still dampening all the other strings. Then you go back to chuck, no note sounding. You can alternate. And you go to the high A on the D string with your pinky. You try the same. First, you dampen all the strings, and then you press down the pinky, and try to dampen all the other strings. This whole pattern, if you really single out the strings and play very clean, it sounds a little bit tame compared to this. You get more percussive quality into the sound, a little bit more dirt than when you just hit one string. And that's a huge part, I think, to this whole feel and the power that one experiences when we play it with, I think they call it skank guitar. Key to this whole thing is the right hand too, because the right hand here in this kind of rhythm playing is more like a drummer. It's more like a drummer would hit his drum with a stick. And that's the feel you have to use in your right hand. What does that mean? The drummer is really working with gravity. They're not so much pushing down the stick, they are letting it fall down on the drum. And they make sure that they get up the stick quickly, so the drum can resonate freely. When you hold the stick down, you're not getting a good drum sound. And it's kind of the same with guitar strings. You want to make sure that you use gravity to go down, and that your pick is not sticking around too long in the strings. Really give an impulse and then let gravity take over, and your hand is falling down. The most important thing for this music is the shuffle feel. And the easiest way to show you what shuffle feel is to show you what shuffle feel is not, and that is straight eighth. So this pattern with straight eighths sounds like this. That sounds fine. In our case, it's shuffle eighth. It's a longer eighth followed by a shorter one. And underneath this whole thing, there's a triplet feel. So that's a good thing when you play shuffle, to feel this triplet feel. It's the same. If you play this, it's the same thing. Of course, there are lots of variations to the shuffle feel, and some people in some regions play the eighth notes a little bit straighter, or play the first eighth note longer than the second one, but basically the shuffle is based on a triplet feel. Once you feel comfortable playing this pattern, what else is there to do? Well, one thing is, instead of going up to the 10th fret for the D7 and 12th fret for the E7, you can use a concept called string transference. And that is, in this case, that you move the pattern up one string. And for me, when I say up, I always mean musically up. So for the D7, you play the pattern starting with the first finger, index finger, 5th fret on the A string. And then you play basically the same thing, just everything up one string. And for the E7, you go up one string also, and also up 2 frets to the 7th fret, index finger, A string, 7th fret. And you play the whole thing there, up one string. With string transference, this blues looks like this. And this is my dog, Scotty. Hey, Scotty. If you want to hear the masters play Chicago Box Shuffle, I recommend listening to a song called It Takes Time by Otis Rush, or there's a track by Buddy Guy called Just Teasin'. It's also fun to go through all the B.B. King records and find Chicago Box Shuffles. So it's something that is used quite a bit. If you like this video, it would make me really happy if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Goodbye and take care.